Welcome to the Business Owner Spotlight. I'm Stephanie Scheller. I'm your host. My job is to go out and find really cool business owners. And a few months ago, my assistant came to me and she said, Stephanie, you have got to check out this group. There are so many questions. You could answer all the questions. You would love this group. And I was just like, okay, she's gushing. So I went and I checked out the group and not had as much time to play in the group as I would like to, but it is one of the coolest groups and probably one of 3 groups I actually hang out in on Facebook. And now I actually get to have Arne, the founder. He's over here going, yes. On our Business Owner Spotlight. This guy is genius, y'all. I don't have anything else to say other than thanks for sitting down with me, Arne.
Yeah, no doubt. Happy to be here. And I know it's going to be fun to dive into it a little bit more, hear the story behind the group and everything else that's going on.
Yeah, so although I do want to start with this. So you are currently, as we're doing the filming, you are currently over in Mexico right now, right?
Yes. Let me show you guys the view real quick, see if it pops it up.
We're all going to be super jealous here. Oh my
God. So there's some palm trees, little pool over there. Not bad.
Nice. This is what happens when you run a highly successful Facebook group, obviously.
Yes, automatic pool in your backyard.
I love this. Dang it, I got to get going. Okay, and you have like a group that you guys can buy some sort of program for like $1,000 and get a pool for free, apparently. Like a killer deal. So, Arne, what's the story? How did you end up in Mexico while your business is running? And like, this is awesome.
Definitely, yeah. So I am a full-time digital nomad, meaning I don't have an apartment, a car, a mortgage, any of that stuff. I travel full-time. I ended up in 11 countries, 12 states last year, going like totally nomadic, and it's been a blast. But a couple of years ago, this was definitely not the case. I got started with my online business just over 2 years ago and just completely failed my way through 2016. Before that, I had a little bit of a background in sales. I had another little side hustle that was local. And I really wanted to get in the online space because I knew the flexibility and freedom that came with that and the scalability as well. So that was kind of my big carrot that I was chasing. And I knew the digital nomad life was possible. I knew, I'm young, single, no kids. This is the best time in my life to ever possibly do this. And there's so many opportunities out there to grow an online business, grow a community, and figure out how to get semi-passive income at the same time. So it's been just so cool to have been able to pursue this and then make it all come to life in the last couple of years. So definitely excited to dive into some of the nuts and bolts of that and what really went into growing the community around that as well.
Yeah, because I think you're doing what at least 80% of the population who has ever considered being an entrepreneur wants to do. I guess we'll start with what were some of the major obstacles? So you said you failed your way through 2016. Let's actually start there because I love talking about failure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What were some of the big failures and how did you keep them from putting you in the ground?
Yeah, and what I really loved about 2016 was it was such a foundational year for me in terms of figuring out what this online landscape looked like, what skills I would need, what ideas I would need, what kind of network I could build, and what is the actual vehicle, the business that can fuel this and be profitable and give me the lifestyle that I wanted. So I came into it kind of seeing all of these different landscapes and different pockets in online marketing and such. And I thought, it would be awesome to be able to start an agency where I could take my sales skills, because I'm really good with people, I'm really good with sales, and be able to broker out deals. So I partnered up with about a dozen contractors at one point, all kinds of different services, and I would go out and I would find deals and I would get a commission. So that was the big plan coming into it. All right, I can be the deal maker, I can go find the people, I can put the pieces together and make an income without having to build a mobile app, that kind of thing.
Kind of like affiliate marketing almost.
Exactly. But like even closer, even more hands-on, talking to clients, figuring out what they need, getting deals out. And it was hugely challenging because as a first-time online business owner, it came with so many more challenges than I had anticipated. I really, really kind of failed my first, 3 months. I had zero sales. So that was November 2015 through about January. And then in February 2016, I got my very first sale. and it ended up being a $15,000 mobile app project. So no $7 ebooks, no, $50 an hour coaching. This was like big money just hit the bank on this project. Even though I got a commission of that, I didn't get everything. That just blew my mind. I was like, this is real money changing hands with somebody who is on this side of the country and somebody who's on this side of the country. I'm over here on this corner, and I put those pieces together and I made this deal happen. So it was the most inspiring thing where I was like, this is real. I was like, look, mom and dad, I finally, got one. So kind of showing them that, yes, what I'm pursuing, there is actual money in. And that was just a huge, huge, huge moment for me and a turning point where I felt a lot more empowered. I felt like I could continue doing this. So I did. But the next big failure came the month following, March 2016. I had a huge drought. I had over a dozen consultation calls and not a single new client. So even though I was good at generating the leads, getting people on the phone, figuring out how to talk to people about the problems, because I was starting out and I had, such low revenue and such low experience at that time with that model, I could not get any deals in. And my confidence was just depleting every single day. I felt like quitting. I started looking for jobs, and I was just feeling like so desperate to get a deal in. And the thing is, people sense that. People can automatically tell that you are not in it for them and their best interest. You're in it for you and you trying to get your deal in. So I had to really kind of take a step back. I got some great advice from a mentor of mine, and he just walked me through it. And he said, hey, you're going about this all wrong. You're going about this for you and not for them. If you really understand how to listen better, you already have the team that can help them. You already have the capabilities. You have everything that you need to be successful for you, for your team, and for the client. So slow it down a little bit. Be confident in what you can bring to the table and how you can really change people's lives. And so before I got into any of my next calls, I did a little exercise. I basically looked at my team, their results, how I can help, and what the client's goals are. And if I could figure out a match between all that before ever hopping on the call with these people, I knew it would be a no-brainer to work with me. So what do you think happened after that?
I would bet you anything deals started popping through, because at that point you're probably listening.
Yeah, and I closed the next 5 out of 5 deals that month in April. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm back on the horse. Let's get this thing going. But the biggest problem I had, even with that model, even with that new confidence, was that because I had so many different services that I was trying to offer, what I didn't realize was I was starting 7 businesses at once. I was starting 7 brands at once. I didn't have processes. I didn't have, as many case studies for each different thing. So I was just totally overextending myself instead of focusing. So lack of focus was my biggest progress killer in 2016 by far.
So I love, holy crap. That was loaded with so many nuggets there. First of all, the listening thing. I have all these reminders all over, like you can't see my wall that's behind the computer here, but I have all these reminders because every time we do an interview with a guru of some variety, it's one of the big things they bring to the table is you got to listen. You got to listen, and you got to listen to understand. Stop listening, right? This one guy, one of my favorite quotes, he says, we confuse listening with giving them space to talk. And it's one of the biggest sales tips you could ever give out. That lack of focus one was just amazing. So obviously you got past that 2017. It's only 2018. So we're only about a year and a half in. You got a group of, at this time, 55,000 members and aiming for 7 figures this year, right?
That's the plan.
So what are some of the obstacles as you have grown so quickly? What are some of the obstacles you've run into? And I'm assuming you've transitioned away from running 7 businesses to just really focusing on the one, right?
Yes and no. Not 7 anymore, but we do have 2 and then another cool project we can talk about as well. So the main core business is helping entrepreneurs grow Facebook groups so they can be able to attract more of their ideal people, build the relationship, and seamlessly grow their business at the same time, get more clients, get more sales. And that's been a ton of fun. So like after I kind of figured out how to grow my group, and I was like, wow, okay, I have a couple thousand members, I should be making more money. So I started this big journey on understanding how I could take that audience, and be able to serve them at a higher level and get paid at a higher level. So that's when I was able to triple my income in the first quarter of 2017. Pretty quickly, I scaled the group up. I figured out some good offers. I did a couple different things for them, and everything started to change. So also in 2017, the very beginning, I took a huge risk, and that's when I started my whole digital nomad journey. So I moved to Medellin, Colombia. I booked out an Airbnb for 2 months. I got some flights, and I left with $800 in the bank and said, all right, if I don't make it, I'm going to have to go home and I'm going to get a job. So I was like, now's the time. I got to step it up. I got to
bridges moment.
Exactly. So that was just completely transformational in terms of everything. Lifestyle, skills, network, the community I had built, my offers, the revenue. It's just like everything that I had been working towards in 2016 just like sprouted, and it was just so cool to be able to kind of have all that happen in that first quarter of 2017, where I was stepping into a new realm, kind of focusing my expertise on Facebook groups, really understanding and mastering my craft, and I still am today, always learning. And that's where I kind of put my energy. So once I realized I was better than 99.99% of people in the world at Facebook groups and how to monetize them without being spammy, that's when I was like, that's my thing. I can really help people if I can uncover how I did it and make it replicable. So that's when I launched my first Facebook groups training in February 17. And it was only $37 at the time. It was just a couple of lessons, and I kept building it out, kept raising the price.
You didn't get the pool with it at that point in time, right?
Yeah, no pool at that point. But yeah, so I started out all the training there. I kept building on it and really made that my main focus. So have you ever read that book, The One Thing by Gary Keller?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that is instrumental. So if anybody out there listening has not read that book, that's the one thing you need to do right now. So the quick premise of it is, if you understand what the one thing is that you can do or achieve that will make absolutely everything else a lot easier to achieve, do that, you know? So I understood that, okay, this is my zone of expertise. I can bring a lot of value here. If I figure out how to drop the rest of the nonsense, focus on this, and build a product that really works and is really comprehensive and can change people's lives, everything else will become easier. I'll be able to have more money. I can hire a team. I can do more marketing. I can have more free time. So that's what I did. I kind of switched my focus from some of the agency stuff into the course, into a little bit more passive model where I could, go and create content and I could do my marketing, but I wouldn't have to fulfill for every single client that came through. So that's when I started to have more of a tipping point of income where the agency was less and the course was more. And I was like, all right, let's go all in. I'm going to stop taking clients.
Nice. So then when I reached out and was like, hey, do this for me, you're like, it's like, the agency thing's back. But I will say Jess is going through the course right now. She absolutely loves it. I keep getting text messages and emails from her.
Awesome.
All these things she's learning. So if you had to pick one massive, what one massive moment that said, hey, so you said, which one was it? You said March 2016, dozen consultations, didn't get a single deal. Yep. Was it really like, I know my tendency when I get into those places, because I think we all do as entrepreneurs, you get into a place where you're just like, crap, this sucks. My tendency is to turtle up. What made you reach out to your mentor? Or how did your mentor, you said your mentor is what kind of snapped you out of it. What was it that got you to go to him, or how did you pull yourself out of that? Yeah.
So, I was just chatting with him one day, and he said, hey, how's everything going? Because I had told him about, this cool big project that I had got the month before. And I was like, I'll be real with you, man. It's not going good. Like, I'm struggling right now. He's like, all right, let's hop on a Skype. Let's figure this out. And yeah, it took 2 hours to run through everything and try and understand where those shifts could happen. And that stuck with me forever, knowing that with the right exercise, with the right mindset, I could come into any new situation with confidence and clarity that I could really help people. then it didn't become about me and my money. It became about how I could really, really make an impact on these people. And then when you have that belief and it's true, that's when they see the most value in it, and then they want to pay you. So it's kind of like you got to do that first.
And I do want to point something out to our listeners there. So, and I asked that question on purpose because a lot of times we do end up falling away from the people who can truly help us out. And it was just chatting. It was just having, it was the fact that you were in a position, just having a conversation that helped you see, because when we get down in the valley, it's hard to see out. It's hard to see past that. So
Definitely.
I love that. I know the time always goes so freaking fast. If you had one piece of advice you would give to a business owner, what would you tell them to do or give them?
Okay. So the biggest thing I would say is to avoid gluefoot. So it's this idea that when you are stuck in a decision that you're trying to move forward, but it's like your foot is glued to the floor, so you're not moving in any direction. That is the biggest killer of results and activity. Like, even if you are moving and if you move in the wrong direction, you're going to learn, you're going to get results. They might be bad results, but you're going to learn what you need to do to get back on track. So when you have inactivity, when you have that glue foot, that's where all the entrepreneurs get stuck. They see all these different shiny objects and everything is overwhelming and they're not moving anything. There's nothing new. There's no changes. There's no results. As long as you keep moving, that is what's going to get you eventually onto your path. It might take a little while, might take a year like it did for me to figure out what's going to work for you. But if I wasn't moving and hustling like crazy to figure out what that was going to be for me, I would have always been stuck in entrepreneur mode. And even for established entrepreneurs, if you're faced with tough decisions, you just have to start moving, and imperfect action is the best. So launch things at 85% because the last 15 takes twice as long as the first 85.
I love that. I think that's such a good point, because you're right. We get stuck just in generals. It's very, very easy. I'm not getting words out now, but it's very easy to sit there and just not make any traction. Even as successful entrepreneurs, there'll be days when I'll catch myself. It's easier to just stand still. Sometimes, oh man, I got a day in the office and then all of a sudden it's noon and I've only accomplished 2 things. It's like, what is going on? So I like that. I love that. Arne, this is awesome. Thank you for taking time to come hang out and share. You're very smart. I appreciate you taking time to share that with people.
For sure. No doubt. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, guys, this is what it's about. Hey, if you know someone who may make a great business owner spotlight, catch me at the links below. Contact me, reach out to me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever is your poison. Let's chat and let's find somebody cool. I want to get the people who deserve the spotlight to be put on them onto our spotlight process. In the meantime, go out there, guys. Don't get stuck. Make it a great week.
That's right. Thank you.